Hi, I'm Mary Kenefake. Welcome to Wellesley in Depth, a series by WCTV in which we examine issues important to the college community. This in-depth segment is called Stone, Stress, and Solutions. It's a three-part series about the state of mental health and the stress culture at Wellesley. We hope Wellesley in Depth can provide solutions and promote dialogue. Thank you for watching. The American College Health Association reported that 85% of students reported feeling stressed on a daily basis. Among the various services offered at Wellesley, such as the mental health educators, the balanced health educators, and active minds, the majority of counseling services the college offers are located at the Stone Center. The Stone Center is home to the Jean Baker Miller Training Institute, headed by Dr. Judith Jordan. We sat down with her to discuss the Institute's background and the philosophy behind mental health care at Wellesley.
The philosophy here and the understanding is that relationships and connections are central to people's well-being, that the need for a relationship is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, that growth-fostering relationships are at the center of everybody's lives, that they give people a sense of zest, they give people a sense of creativity, a sense of worth, and a desire for more connection. The Jean Baker Miller Training Institute was actually named after Jean Baker Miller, who was a psychiatrist who wrote a very important book in 1976 called Towards a New Psychology of Women. And in that book, Jean really questioned the way that girls and women were represented in psychology and said that she felt basically women were seen as too emotional, too needy, as weak, and that they were constantly being compared with men and constantly being seen as lesser than. I think the students here are caught in some of the snags that everybody in this culture gets caught in, which is, I think they really value relationships, believe in relationships, and also are caught in a lot of the competitive systems that the surrounding culture says are the way to be. So it's a great place to be, to work on this, and it's a place where we can see the very difficulties that girls and women face out in the broader culture, of being understood, of feeling heard, and feeling caught up in the dominant culture's emphasis on go it alone.
The Stone Center has partnered with the Wellesley Centers for Women and has used the training program to bring in specialists. Reporter Heidi Park sat down with Dr. Alice Frye, a research scientist at the Wellesley Centers for Women and a postdoctoral trainee with the Jean Baker Miller Institute. Frye focuses her work on stress, coping, and psychopathology in adolescents, emerging adults, and specifically young women. She says the concept of mastery, or the quality to feel you can overcome obstacles, is adversely affected by high stress levels.
I think certainly my sense so far is that the stress culture here is pretty intense, and I mean, it's very salient to me in terms of my research, because what the research that I did showed was that small amounts of stress could be good and could help to develop a sense of mastery. But probably large amounts of stress do not do that. And so that's one important thing, is that I certainly have the sense that the amount of stress in the Wellesley culture is probably more than is healthy. Another important aspect of my research is that it identifies emerging adulthood as a special period for the development of mastery, because emerging adults typically see themselves as having permission to fail. They have permission to make mistakes like at no other age. But my fear is that because Wellesley students are very high achieving, they may not give themselves the same permission to fail that other emerging adults do, or maybe not as much. And that may contribute to the negative aspects of stress. I'm just seeing the atmosphere on campus, which on the one hand is very positive, and on the other hand, when you hear what students are talking about and the general ideas that they have about how much they feel they must achieve, and when students themselves talk about the competition about not wanting to not have as much work as some other student, that it's a bad thing to say in the evening, yeah, I didn't have as much homework this evening as somebody else. And I've heard that from many different people, that same story. And that suggests that there is a sort of if not pervasive, certainly a very entrenched culture in which having too much to do is considered a good thing. I would say that getting out of the habit of having too much to do is something that is hard for, I think, everybody, myself included, but that the benefits of breaking that habit are real and very enriching. You can have a lot of things to do in your life besides finishing more papers and doing more homework that will make your life wonderful and rich, and those things are just as worthwhile.
Join us in our next episode where we find out what issues exist and what's causing them. Thank you for watching.